Okay, hopefully this records the actual video of Pete Buttigieg speaking. So we'll listen to this, and I have the closed caption on so we can read along as well if you can't hear it. But here we go. This is Pete
Be able
Buttigieg.
to tell the time, but weren't in a position to reach into their pockets very frequently. The trench watch became the forerunner of the wristwatch, or as we know it today, the watch. But the good people at the South Bend Watch Company didn't take note of this development. They continued making some of the very finest pocket watches of the early wristwatch age. And by the 1930s, South Bend Watch was out of business. There's a moral to this story, a pretty obvious one about the fact that you need to innovate in order to survive in today's economy. There's another.
All right, so he's going to say there's another lesson, but he said you need to innovate in order to survive in today's economy. Let's imagine that I wanted to quote that. So I'm writing a paper. I'll get to it in a minute. What it is that I have to a quotation piece. But let's just imagine this is the name of my essay. I wanted to remind you again how we put a header on. So we're going to insert. It's always good to start with inserting a page number. Okay. So you insert the page number. You make sure that the font is correct. This has Arial, so I'm going to turn it to Times New Roman 12. And then I put last name, whatever your last name is. Don't write last name. I'm not going to do Hunt because I'm the professor. Anyway, so that gives a Times New Roman 12 header, which will be on the top of every page. So, and I want to remind you too to use the ruler here. So I'm going to go back to after I've done the title. I'm going to go ahead and pull the first line indent half an inch so it's indented. And let's imagine that I said Buttigieg reminds us that, quote, you need to innovate in order to survive in today's economy. All right, now let me ask you a few things. Do I put a page number there? No, because there's no page number. You could go to the video and you could find where he said that, and you could do a timestamp. That's not necessary, but sometimes it's good to do because then it gives you in your own records to where to find something in a video. But there is no page number. Notice here that I use the word that, which makes this an incorporated or integrated quotation. So I don't need a comma. I don't need a capital. All right. So now again, the question is, what do I do? What do I do to cite this piece? I've quoted Buttigieg. He's the one who said it, and so I'm going to need to do a works cited page. So I'm going to insert a page break. Page break. Whoops. And now I'm on the next page. I'll go ahead and take the indent. The indent out. I'll center the title, works cited. I'll go ahead and go to the next line, which is double spaced. And I'm going to do an interesting thing. Again, I pull the whole thing a half inch and put the first line indent back on the left margin. And you can see, how do I tell it's a 0.00? And so I'm going to start with the author, Buttigieg, period. Now, it's not a book, so I'm going to go ahead and go to the citing the website. So in course documents, I have a citing the website page, and it gives me what I need to do: author, title of source, title of container, other contributors, version number, publisher, publication date, and location of source. That's a lot of things, but there are some things that we're not going to need. So the author was Pete Buttigieg. The title of the source is going to be the title of the video. The title of the container, which is in italics, is going to be the title of the web page. Are there other contributors? No, it was just Pete Buttigieg. So that's all we have to worry about. There's no version, no number, but there is a publisher. There's always somebody who puts it up. Whoever put it up, we're going to have that as our publisher. There's a publication date and there's a location. Where do we find it on the web in this case? So I'll go back to this, the title of the source. Oops, not that. So here's the website, and the title of the source is right here. So what if a city has to rethink its past to understand its future? Now there is a straight vertical line, and then it says Mayor Pete Buttigieg, a straight vertical line, and then TEDx UND. And UND stands for the University of Notre Dame, which is in South Bend, Indiana, where Pete Buttigieg was the mayor at the time of this presentation. So all we need is this first piece before those vertical lines, because those vertical lines really mean page breaks. They mean that, sorry, not page breaks, they mean enter button, carriage return. It means that it's a new paragraph. You go to the next line. And we're not going to go to the next line. We're just going to have this title. So when I go to paste it in, this is in quotation marks. And when I go to paste on Google Docs, most people use Google Docs, we're going to paste without formatting. What that does is it puts it in the font that I'm using rather than whatever it was on the web that I copied. Okay, so I'll click that and then I'll end my quotation marks. I don't need a period because this has a question mark. All right, now what's next again is that's the title of the source, what we just did. Next is the title of the container. So the container for this is right up here. It's YouTube, which is the name of the website. It's a container because it contains videos, you know, trillions of videos. So I'll go ahead and go do 2 spaces, and then I'll put it in italics. Containers are in italics. YouTube. And I'm going to put a period. You can put a period or a comma because I've seen it both ways in MLA books. I like to put periods after titles of books. Sometimes though, if you have an editor or something like that, people put a comma and say edited by or add some little feature like that. So we're not going to worry about that so much. So the next thing is other contributors. We already said there isn't any, but publisher. Now, the publisher you can see is right here, whoever put it up. And TEDx Talks is one choice, or just TEDx. And I'm going to do TEDx Talks because, again, I think that's the name of the publisher is generally here. This is just their insignia. So it's going to be not in italics anymore, but TED is in all caps, and then X, and then Talks. And again, I believe that in that video there was a space here. So I'm going to put the space there, and then a comma. So that's our publisher. And what's next is a publication date. You can find that here. It says 8 years ago, but if you put the cursor on that, a rollover pops up. It says 18 March 2015. So that's quite some time ago. Once again, 18 March 2015. So I'll write 18 March 2015, comma. And then what do we have left? We have the location. So the location in this case is the URL up here at the top of the page. It's where it's located in YouTube in the container. So I'm going to copy that as also the location in the World Wide Web. And I will go ahead and do again the paste without formatting. And it's beyond the line, but it's still indented, so it's because it's part of the same website. I did not hit a carriage return, but I'll do a period to end my citation, and then a space, and that underlines it. And in this case, turned it blue, because what we've done here is we are making it an actual hot link. which is why we generally don't use underlining anymore in MLA formatting, because it means link, and I mean a hot link. So that would be a full citation of Buttigieg. So again, up here in the essay, I've mentioned Buttigieg by name in my prose. So again, it's an in prose citation or a mention by name citation. And I've quoted him. I don't need a page number here because there is no page number because it's a video, and I put Buttigieg there. Right?